I want to make a video talking about why you need to be very careful about health tactics on social media and why the entire world right now is moving in the direction of not taking any risk or enjoying many aspects of their life that can still be enjoyed whilst being healthy. So before I go any further, please subscribe, hit that like button down below. Let me know what you think about this. This is a very important topic. This is a topic that holds many humans back, not just OCD and anxiety sufferers, but primarily many young people currently, 15 to 25, older. I see it with people in their 30s and 40s, the hustle culture, everything. Okay, so let's go back. Oh, and Phil at OCDrecovery.com. That's where you find information about one-to-ones and webinars. So let's go back to some of the original people that started a lot of this stuff on social media. Gary Vee was one of the original, right? And he has really good points, but I think he's a little bit over the top, of course. Many people say that about me. Tai Lopez, the guy that used to stand in front of his bookshelf with his Ferrari and be like, I've read 1,000 books. Those were kind of the original people. Then Tony Robbins. And then these individuals are very different from the Jim Rohn era. Jim Rohn might have been the same way today if he was born in the social media realm, but I doubt he would be as abrasive as a lot of the other gurus that are out today. I'm not taking away from anything these individuals have achieved in their lives. They have a lot more money than me and a lot more success and notoriety, and that's completely fine. I'm completely happy with where I am. I could go backwards and have no money, and I could accept my life, but I have many goals to pursue, career goals in one direction. So it's not about the goal itself. It's about your belief about the goal. I must have money. I must have the most beautiful woman. I must be in great shape. I must have these things. And if I don't get those things, my life is absolutely ruined. This is why, in my opinion, this is the most important book on earth. And I don't mean that in anything, in any particular, this is, in my opinion, more important than any religious text I've read, because you can read religious texts, and then if you apply that rigidly to your life and others against you, you'll be resentful. So this is why understanding how to apply religious text is more than likely benefited from reading this book. And you'll have to see for yourself. You might not agree with me. That's completely okay. So right now, there is no shortage of people telling you how to live your life. That comes from a career standpoint, a health standpoint. That's exercise, nutrition, longevity. And again, there's great pros in many of these things. But if you're sacrificing living your life to some degree of enjoyment, that becomes a very slippery slope for most people. So in this particular video, I want to hone in specifically on longevity, nutrition, and exercise. So let's talk about longevity for a moment. There's no doubt about it that treating your body in a healthy, balanced way has a lot of pros. It really does have a lot of pros. But the negative of that, and this is extremely important, the negative side of that is that you're sacrificing many good moments in the now. Okay, let's cover some quick bullet point, just facts. Most people are not alcoholics. They don't struggle with alcoholism. They don't have the disease of the brain of being an alcoholic. It's more than likely a disease, just like OCD is more than likely a genetic component at the chronic level. Most people are not gluten and dairy intolerant. Yes, gluten and dairy can mess your stomach up and you can be a little bit more bloated from time to time and be a little bit more gassy, maybe have diarrhea here and there, but there still are amazing benefits from, when people say to me, non-gluten and dairy-free tastes just as good as dairy and gluten, it doesn't. No, it does not. It's not about a taste bud thing. It doesn't. Regular gluten-filled, dairy-filled products taste way better than gluten-free, no matter what anyone says. It does. I'm not saying it's a healthier option, but you are going to die one day. And when you're dead, in 200 years and 100 years from now, 99% of us, no one's going to remember you. You're not going to remember your name. You're going to be lost in time like everyone else. So it's important to think about these things. We're thinking about the righteousness of blaming other people from eating milk or dairy or animals if you're vegan or vegetarian. So there's moral dilemma fears, which I'm not going to go into that. I'm just talking about that, the tactics themselves. But I did want to highlight that for an example. So so most people can balance alcohol and enjoy their lives. Most people can have dairy and gluten and sugars and enjoy their lives in balance. Most people do not need to be so hyper-focused on their sleep. I see like sleep watches and tracking devices have many more cons than pros. Many more cons than pros. I don't consciously think about my sleep. Yes, I'm aware that getting more sleep is beneficial, of course, but I don't need that type of sleep, okay? So if I sleep less than 7 hours a day, it's not the end of the world. I'm not saying it's the healthiest option, but it's not the end of the world. I can think of 5 people easily off the top of my head right now. Gary Breck is one of them. Daniel Amen's one of them. Andrew Huberman is one of them. Those are really the big 3 that a lot of people like to watch. And they're intelligent and they have a lot of great points. But do you want to live your life similar to these individuals? Do you want to put your entire life on hold and not have any sugars and think about how certain microorganisms are reacting in your gut? It's not necessary. It's completely overkill. And you're missing out on many of the joys that humans have in the now, right now, in this moment, regardless of how you're feeling in an OCD sense. But going out and breaking bread and having gluten and dairy and potentially having a cigar with some of your guy friends here and there, or having a glass of scotch, there is some terrific benefits with that. There is great presentness of the moment in those activities. I'm extremely healthy. I work out every single day. I hike mountains. I eat what I want within balance. I have a couple cigars or 3 or 4 a month. I have a couple beers a week. Every once in a while, I have a whiskey, and I can still enjoy many moments, okay, whilst being healthy. I would say I'm probably healthier than most people just because I live at elevation and I have that extra edge to me, and I hike big, tall mountains all the time, and I work out hard. But I know people that are at my gym who are just as healthy as I am, but I was having a conversation with someone the other day, and he's like, oh, what'd you do this weekend? And I was telling him what I did. Went to the cigar bar. I had a couple beers, the lounge. And the exact response was, beer dehydrates you. Why would you do that? In my mind, I'm thinking, that is sad. That is a sad reality. That individual will not be able, and again, this is in an alcoholic sense. I don't play video games, and I have to accept that I will not be able to play video games because video games becomes very problematic for me. Very problematic. So not everyone's going to be able to enjoy certain joys of life. I mean, look, here's the reality. I said this example before. I'm not saying I agree with it or say it's healthy or legal, but there are plenty of guys that can go to Vegas for their boys' weekend and do a bunch of Coke or K and drink all weekend and then not do drugs or drink like that until the next year. Again, I'm not saying I agree with that action or that it's healthy. I'm just saying it's not what society makes it out to be. That type of weekend happens all the time at events and conferences in Vegas, in LA, in New York City, and in Miami. Again, it's not whether I agree with the legalities and the moral issues. It's this idea that you need to walk the straight and narrow edge all the time. Now let's talk about exercise. What are the things that matter, in my opinion, for exercise? Taking some rest every once in a while, not being so over meticulous about it, eating I eat 3 square meals a day and don't track anything on paper. I don't think tracking on paper has really any sort of pros whatsoever. Even when you're teaching someone how to be aware of macronutrients, they still don't need to track on paper because most people will not want to let go of that paper. Again, it's not inherently bad, but you have to be aware of that. I don't track any of my exercises on paper anymore. Some people can. I choose not to. I don't see a point in doing it. I think it takes away from many of the joys of training. I want to go into the gym, have kind of an idea of what I'm going to do, but have no real plan of the exercises per se, and go in there and train heavy and train to failure and go home. That's fun to me. Am I going to get the best results doing that? No, but I don't care anymore because once I get that extra little bit of perfection, it takes the joy out of lifting. So you have to be aware of these things. And again, 99.9% of people don't actually know about pathways. They don't understand anything about the brain or about hormones or serotonin or dopamine. If I was to ask someone, where does dopamine come from? Where is it secreted from? And this is not a better than thing. It's about, we hear things from Andrew Huberman. We want to sound smart at a party, and then we tell people that. But that's not your focus in life. It doesn't mean you can't learn about these things in a fun way. It just means that you have to be aware that some of this knowledge you're never going to use in your life. Again, it doesn't mean you can't learn it, but it is important to be realistic about this. So You need to be very careful when it comes to the tracking and compulsive measures with nutrition and exercise and health myths and all sorts of stuff, because you're going to miss out on many of the great joys of living in the now and enjoying your life. Again, there is nothing wrong with alcohol when in balance, even some going out of balance. Like when I go to Ultra Miami sometimes, I might drink a little bit too much. Sure, it's unhealthy. I don't wear headphones, but I'm enjoying memories and I'm liking those things. Oh, no, that's so bad for you. Well, the way that people live, it's so structured. So be very aware of this stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please take this very seriously. And I'm always willing to have conversations in the comments. Let me know what you think. Phil@ocdrecovery.com. If you have any questions, please let me know, and we hope to hear from you soon. I have a lot of people that come in that are trying to recover from this. They're stuck in the health tactics. They're stuck in the pain tactics. They have gone so overboard, and I hope to hear from you so we can help you break that down and reintroduce balance in your life. Again, that is Phil@ocdrecovery.com, and I hope to hear from you soon.